Today, I want to talk about the new S25 Samsung phones. They just released them yesterday. They did an announcement, and I think it's crazy. I think it's really cool. I'm an Apple person. Like, I have an Apple phone, like an iPhone, everything Apple. But I actually kind of like the new Samsung phones. I think they're really cool. So I'll explain quickly what they changed. They basically changed nothing on the hardware side, like, which I think is a bit disappointing. Like, I think for the last 4 or 5 years, all the phones have basically been the same, which is like, I don't know, man. They gotta change the design or something, because it's always just the same colors, just the same everything basically. And I watched the Marcus Brownlee video, and I was like, wow, this phone's disappointing. You know, it's basically the same phone. What was the point of releasing this phone? Until I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer for the phone, and I was like, wait, this is actually really cool. So if you guys you probably know, the iPhone, I think the iPhone 16, they released like this AI feature with, like, you know, all these cool AI like possibilities. But when they actually released the iPhone 16, I don't think any of the AI features actually came out. Like, they were all pretty much unavailable until, like, I think until now. And even then, I don't think the features are really that useful. It's basically just a chat GPT, which is really disappointing. Like, I would have thought it would be something actually pretty useful. But Samsung is basically this Apple update. It's all software. So it's basically, there's no hardware upgrade, like basically no hardware upgrade. But the software is actually kind of incredible. They have this whole Gemini with Bixby thing, and it lets you use the AI, like the Gemini AI, which is pretty good. Like, you know, it's AI. It has its use cases, but then it's like teamed up with like the Siri of Samsung, so like Bixby, and I think it's actually really useful. I'm not sure how useful like the use case scenarios, but the ones they showed in the trailer, I was impressed, man. As an iPhone user, I was like, I'm kind of jealous. But there's also some problems with this. So firstly, let me explain the features. They added all these features, like, I think there's phone transcript now, so you can literally, they have like a phone, like your phone call transcripts in messages. So like, it basically creates like these like text messages of your phone transcripts, and you get to use an AI summary to summarize your like calls, which I think is so cool. Like, that's just really useful. That's a really useful feature. Like, and I'm pretty sure, you know, anyone will probably use that at some point. You know, it's something unlike Apple, which I don't even know what the AI did. You know, it seemed pretty useless. I'm not even sure if it's fully out yet. Secondly, you can use, like, if you're on your settings, you can actually search for the problem. So like, let's say you search "my eyes hurt" in the settings, and it will come up with, like, you know, settings for like lowering brightness or like lowering eye something, which is so cool. Like, that is just like a feature that I think everyone can relate to. Like, if you're not super tech savvy, you can use that feature. You can literally just search the problem you're having, and it'll probably come up with the setting on, like, to turn it on and off. You don't need to search Google anymore. You don't need to scour like hours through the settings just to find your, like, the feature that you need to turn on or off. Like, that's really cool. That's honestly awesome. Like, I'm honestly hyped for this as an Apple user. But yeah, other features, like, they had you can ask Bixby, like, well, I think it's called Gemini or something now. You can ask Gemini, and you can be like, oh, can you like look at this video and tell me what were like the 10 things, and put it in the notes. Like, it's actually useful because it can go through your apps. Like, it can actually go through your apps. So you can ask the YouTube video, oh, like, note down these 10 tips and put it in like my notes or my reminders or something like that. And you're like, that's actually useful. It's actually going into the apps. Like, I'm not 100% sure how many people would actually use this, but I could see myself using it. Like, I could actually see myself using these kind of things. Like, it's not some just like stupid AI thing they're trying to sell you. Like, these are features you could actually use. You can, like, so you can ask, like, the Gemini thing. You can be like, oh, what's the nearest restaurant with like 5 stars that's pet friendly and like outdoor, and all these like things that, and it would probably come up, and then you can be like, oh, also text this person like the address, and it's able to do all these things. Like, I think that's just really impressive. Like, that's something that you actually want. Like, this is an actual useful feature. But then the problem is, like, because this is only like software stuff, does this mean you need the new, like, do you need the newest S25 phone to have all these features? Or can you just have the older phones and the older phones will have this feature? And I think that'll decide kind of how scummy Samsung is. Because if you can use the, like, these are just software. Like, there's no hardware, there's no nothing. So Samsung could technically roll it out to all their other phones. Which if they do, I think that's honestly like big ups to Samsung. Because that means like any old people with the Samsung S23, S22, whatever the phones are, can actually use this update. And the update's actually like really good. But then I don't really see them doing that. Because I think, like, you know, this AI thing was the whole point of this phone. And I don't really, like, it was the whole sell point of this phone. So, like, are they really gonna, like, I feel like they're probably just gonna limit it to the new phones, right? That's the most likely scenario I see happening. Because otherwise, who's gonna buy the new phone? Like, no one's gonna want to buy it, because you could just buy the older one. It's literally the same phone, but, you know, cheaper. And so I'm not really too sure, honestly. I'm not too sure what Samsung is gonna do, but I'm honestly really hyped. Like, as an iPhone user, this is what I wasn't hyped for the Apple stuff, like the Apple AI, because I was like, I'm not really gonna use this. There's no way I see myself using these like summarized text. Like, I can just use ChatGPT for that. Like, I don't need to buy the newest iPhone just to do that. But the Samsung features, it actually goes like goes into the apps and does what you want. And that's actually useful. That's like some ChatGPT can't do that. Like, none of these phones. Like, I don't know. I think it's really cool. I think it's something that, like, it's what people basically dream of when you think of AI. You're like, AI on a phone. That's what it should be. But yeah, I'm not too sure if they're gonna lock it to just the S25s. But that would be pretty scummy. I think that'd be pretty scummy of Samsung. I mean, I know they're a pretty scammy corporation. I mean, not that scammy, but like, you know, they basically become the Android of Apple, the Apple of Android. But yeah. So I'm not too sure. Can we please arrow that? Okay, perfect. Honestly, we've been winning these games with this deck. Like, this deck is really good. So I'm not sure. And then they also released a Samsung S25 Note. And the Note, I think it does have some hardware changes. Obviously, it has all the cool AI stuff. But it also has slightly less bezels. So you have more screen. Like, which is cool. Like, you know, more screen is always good. But imagine buying a new, like, they're £1,000, like $1,000 phone, just to get slightly less bezels when you can just buy the old one and basically get the same thing. And if they add the AI feature, then like why would you buy the new one? Why I would never see myself buying the new one. I mean, I don't see myself buying the Samsung anyways, because I have an iPhone. But you know, it is what it is. Dude, we are destroying this guy. Mr. Wan with no clan. Dude, I'm a rapper. What can I say? Wan no clan. But yeah, that's the new Samsung S25, and honestly, I'm really hyped for it. I saw Marcus Brownlee's video, and he just seemed like he didn't seem that hyped for it. I mean, I understand it's all software, so like technically the S25 it shouldn't only be running on the S25. It should be on all the phones. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I honestly think it's like what I imagined AI to be like. Oh, dude, can this guy not arrow my thing? Okay, well, we're gonna arrow his thing though. Like, obviously, fair's fair. But yeah, it's cool. It's honestly like a cool phone. But I would like to see. I think what they should have done. I think what Samsung should have done is like, at least just change the design of it. Like, change something hardware so it's an extra selling point. So it's not like the software is the only like point. But I am also like, I saw they also changed like, I think the software, how it works. So like, not only the AI, like the actual design and stuff is new. But I think I'm a bit disappointed with that, because I feel like Samsung always just tries to copy Apple, and they should be different to Apple. Like, as an Apple user, like, if I want something Apple, I'm just gonna buy the Apple phone. They're like the same price. Why would I want to use like a Samsung if I can just buy the Apple phone, you know? So I think they should try be different, you know? Like the Google phones. I'm not really sure what Google does, but the Google phones seem different to me. So I don't see why they wouldn't just use the Google. Come on, please just die, man. Let me kill you, Mr. Wan. Oh, come on. There's no way you'll survive that. Yes, let's go. Dude, this deck is OP. And honestly, that's the S25. I think it's going to be really cool. We'll have to see more when the like phone actually releases to see its use case scenarios and like how much would you actually use it, like how often would you use it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.